In The Empire Strikes Back, Palpatine tells Vader that he has a son. However, Vader already knew that the boy who destroyed the Death Star was his son much earlier, so he just played along and acted dumb. But how did Palpatine find out Vader had a son, as it's something we don't see in the film? In the canon book The Empire Strikes Back, from a certain point of view, it's revealed how Palpatine found out Vader had a son. Mere minutes before speaking with Vader over hologram, Palpatine is meditating in the dark side of the Force beneath the Imperial Palace. Palpatine sensed a disturbance in the Force and closed his eyes, seeing into the Force itself. While Palpatine didn't fear this disturbance, he wanted to find the source of something of this magnitude. Palpatine felt a disturbance similar to this when the Death Star was destroyed by a rebel pilot who was strong in the Force. Palpatine was then granted a vision in the Force. He was inside his office on Coruscant where he could see the bodies of 2 Imperial guards on the floor. There was a figure of a hooded man walking past the bodies on the floor holding a red lightsaber. Palpatine saw the figure walk towards the main chair in the office as Palpatine saw another version of himself stand up. The hooded figure then raises his hand and begins to Force choke the Emperor. The other version of Palpatine unleashed a wave of Force lightning at the figure to no avail. This Emperor was completely outmatched and stood absolutely no chance against this hooded figure. The hooded figure began to get closer and closer to this other version of Palpatine as his footsteps left a mark in the Force, as the hooded figure thrusted his red lightsaber into the other Emperor, killing him. Palpatine was intrigued at what just happened and who this hooded figure really was. The figure then took off his hood, revealing his face, and began to walk towards Palpatine, but then Palpatine heard another voice telling the boy that he had done well. Palpatine quickly realized that this wasn't a vision, but a dream. This new voice was one that he has not heard in many years, but Palpatine knew this voice quite well. It was Anakin Skywalker's. Palpatine looked through a window, seeing his own reflection, and could see that he was an unburned Anakin Skywalker. Palpatine began to conclude that this was Vader's dream of overthrowing him, just like any other Sith apprentice would. But he wondered why this dream was powerful enough to cause a disturbance in the Force. Even ones of prophecy couldn't do that. But why was Vader so protective over this boy? Just then, the Force tried to push Palpatine out of the vision, but Palpatine held on and wanted to know who this boy truly was. The dream continued as Anakin and Luke began to walk on a balcony at a figure. Palpatine then saw the face of this figure, who turned around to meet Anakin and Luke. It was Padme Amidala. Everything around Palpatine began to come crashing down as Luke addressed Anakin as father and Padme as mother. Palpatine finally put all the pieces together and figured out that this boy's name is Luke Skywalker. It all made sense why Vader was searching so hard for the rebel who destroyed the Death Star, but how long did Vader know? Palpatine began to wonder. In the end, it didn't matter. His goal was clear. He would steal this boy from Vader and have him take Vader's place, as Palpatine could finally have this all-powerful apprentice he desired. Palpatine then went off to contact Vader and tell him of this discovery. If you want to know how Vader found out he had a son, I made a video on that if you want to check that one out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.